What's going on, everyone? So yesterday in Media Day, we got confirmation from the players themselves, particularly Jared Vanderbilt and Christian Wood, on their health status. Now, we did get updates from Gabe Vincent. He's ready to go. Jalen Trufino, all these guys that kind of dealt with injury issues last season are all expected to be ready to go for training camp, preseason, and then ultimately the regular season. But the two big questions have been Jared Vanderbilt as well as Christian Wood, and they both kind of gave us some insight that I want to dive into, talk about, and share with all of you. And before I dive into the Jared Vanderbilt side of things, Jared Vanderbilt was very, standoffish and just, did not seem like he wanted to be there, right? I don't know, he just seemed really odd in all of his interviews. Right? I understand he's going through rehab, and he probably knew that every question was going to be about his health, stuff like that. No one really wants to do the media day, except for maybe LeBron this year because of his kid, but, still, it's just, he just seemed I don't know, he just seemed very standoffish, right? It just didn't seem like a guy that you're super confident in, right? I don't know, call me crazy, but that's just how he came off to me. He came off, just very, he just didn't want to be there. But I digress. Point is, Jared Vanderbilt relayed and basically said he has no clue when he's actually going to return and if he will be ready to start the NBA season, because that's the big question, right? What's going to happen with him? Is he, he's expected to miss training camp, he's expected to miss preseason, but will he be ready to go for the regular season? Now, he was very short and brief in that regard and basically relayed that, hey, I don't know. But he did say that they are definitely on the right track. They are, heading in the right direction. And he's on this regime, that it was tough because, he had surgery in both his feet. So there was a period where he got to be on top of it. They also asked him, you weren't able to work on the things that, or you can imagine you weren't able to work on the things that you wanted to improve on, hint, hint, wink, wink, 3-point shooting, things like that, that you would be able to do on a normal off season. How did this impact you during the training right now? And he just basically said, the goal is just to kind of get out there on the basketball court, right? That, he was kind of getting to where he wanted to be before the injuries, and it's unfortunate and it happens, but, his goal is to just kind of get on the basketball court. And I get it, right? You can't control the injuries. You can only do what you can do, right? And he's right. Lakers aren't going to be asking him to all of a sudden turn into Magic Johnson, right? Lakers aren't going to be asking him to all of a sudden turn into Steph Curry. I mean, don't get me wrong. If Jared Vanderbilt developed a 38% three-point shot, probably be the best two-way player in the league. The guy would be just incredible. But he's there for a very specific reason, and that's his defense. That's his energy. That's the hustle plays. That's the dirty work, right? He's not really there to go be a 20-point-a-game scorer. He's there for on assignment, 15, maybe 20 minutes to, hey, you see that guy right there? You need to do everything you can to slow him down and stop it. That's what he's there for. He's an assignment guy. Kyrie's torching you. You throw Jared Vanderbilt out there. Like I talked about, with the Denver series, right? Jared Vanderbilt, if he's there, Jamal Murray's not hitting both those game winners. Maybe he hits one. He's definitely not hitting both. Because who's going to be on Jamal Murray during that time? Jared Vanderbilt. He's not hitting both. Jared Vanderbilt's size, his length, his versatility. I mean, the dude is an absolute wizard out there on the defensive side of things. And he does impact the offense. As much as people like to pretend like he doesn't, right? There's more to providing offense than just shooting threes, right? His ability to obviously be a cutter, lob threat, kind of put him in the dunker spot at times. But it's more than that. It's, creating live ball turnovers that lead to more shot attempts. Just turnovers in general lead to more shot attempts. Keeping basketballs alive, right? Getting offensive rebounds, getting defensive rebounds. All of those things help in giving the Lakers other opportunities and attempts that lead to scoring opportunities, right? Jared Vanderbilt is impactful in several ways, right? But we need him on the basketball court. And with Jared Vanderbilt, take your time. We can't afford to have him miss a bunch of games. Like, I would rather him miss the first 20 games of the season so he could play all 62 than him hurry up, rush back, play the first 20 games, but then end up missing the last 62. Right? Like, I would rather you give me the 62 games than miss the 62 games. So if we got to be patient with Jared Vanderbilt, I'm all for that. Right? It'd be nice to have him immediately. It'd be nice to have him right out the gate. But even if you do, you also don't want to overexert him right out the gate. You want to kind of let him kind of get into a rhythm and get back into the swing of things. I mean, he hasn't played, like really played. And, by the time the season begins, 6 months, if that, right? Like, may even be a little longer. Right? Like, this was a guy that wasn't this model of health last year. And he came back for, 10 games, whatever it was, and started to kind of come into his own and looking like himself, and then boom, gets hurt again. Sucks. But, again, injuries are part of the game, but we need this team to be as healthy as possible. We need Jared Vanderbilt. Anthony Davis by himself makes the Lakers a middle-of-the-pack defense. All right? We've seen, you add Jared Vanderbilt, the Lakers are a top defense because it's so much ground that Jared Vanderbilt covers. He's not just great on ball. He's not just great defending off ball. Like, he covers so much space. He's everywhere. We talked about it all season last year, how it's just like he's teleporting at times. Jared Vanderbilt is so impactful on the defensive side. He is so valuable on the defensive side. We can't run the risk of him missing too much time trying to rush him back. Take your time with Jared Vanderbilt. But Christian Wood. Now, as far as interviews go, Christian Wood seemed in really good spirits, seemed excited. I liked his answers to everything, right? Kind of the opposite of Jared Vanderbilt in a lot of ways. But Christian Wood relayed, and it sounds like he's ahead of schedule. So he said he's supposed to be ramping up in 2 weeks, and then he'll probably take about another 2 weeks before he essentially gets cleared, right? That would be huge. If we can get him back, talking a month, let's say early November, that'd be great, right? Because he is a piece that can be incredibly impactful for Lakers. But just like I said with Jared Vanderbilt, take your time with Christian Wood, right? Same thing. I'd rather him miss 20 games so he could play 62 than play 20 games and end up missing 62. Take your time with Christian Wood. Also, he said that his injury was an entirely new injury. Right? Because they were asking, did you, what happened? Was it new? Did you re-aggravate? And he said it was the same injury as previous in the same knee, but it wasn't like a re-aggravation of that. It was an entirely new injury, is what he relayed, which I think is very interesting and a bit concerning. Now, he did say he got surgery right away, right? And that was the whole thing he was trying to avoid last time. So, hopefully the surgery finally corrected it so he can kind of get back out there on the basketball court. Because, again, he's a guy that can be incredibly impactful. This time last offseason, there was genuine conversation of, is Christian Wood the piece that puts the Lakers over the top? Because this was a 17-7, 17-8 guy coming to Lakers that was sought after. Yes, I know people, he's a vet minimum guy, but that's just more so his reputation more than anything else. But there were other teams that were interested in him. It's not like it was only the Lakers, right? Like Miami was a big threat to acquire him too, but he ended up, lo and behold, coming to the Lakers. I also thought it was funny that last offseason, he basically said he came to the Lakers because of Darvin Ham and his relationship with Darvin Ham. And then this offseason basically threw a bunch of jabs. Just threw a bunch of shade on Darvin Ham. I thought that was pretty funny. But nonetheless, again, look, Christian Wood is a guy that has a chance to be incredibly impactful for the Lakers. His ability to play essentially 3 through 5. He's best at the 4 spot. But because of his size and length in certain matchups, you could slide him to the 3 if you need to. We saw Darvin Ham do it last season, and he defended Kevin Durant, of all people, and did it excellent because he has that 7'2", 7'3" wingspan. Now, Christian Wood, he's undersized as a center. Now he's 6'8", 6'9". All right. undersized as a center. He does have the good wingspan. He's kind of best. And, like, you're asking him to be a backup, so he can hold his own on a backup, but, he's not the answer at the center position, right? He's a guy that's probably best at the 4. That you slot alongside an Anthony Davis, or, if Christian Coloco or somebody like that can actually prove and hold their own on the defensive side, maybe slot them. Right? Christian Wood also defensively, he's actually good at defending out on the perimeter because he just has such a long wingspan. He can kind of close the gap and kind of give a little space and then use that length to close the gap. But around the rim, he's not really a rim protector, shot blocker, but he actually is really good as the help defender, and he is good when you funnel the offensive player to him, right? If Christian Wood is on an island against the offensive player, he's cooked. But if you're able to kind of push the offensive player into Christian Wood, then Christian Wood is actually very good at cleaning it up, right? So his versatility is going to go a long way, but just gives you another scoring option out there, another versatile player that can have an impact on both sides of basketball, help with rebounding, help with shooting, help with just scoring, period. Hopefully he's not utilized solely as just a 3-and-D wing, and he's actually utilized properly as a, versatile big man, somebody that can slot in, play the 4, play the 5. Again, on occasion, have him play the 3. I'm not saying that you don't ever have him out on the perimeter shooting 3 balls or anything like that, but Darvin Ham played him like he was solely a 3-and-D wing, rather than a guy that's like, oh, he's really good. He's a big man that, on occasion can stretch out and knock down the 3. He looked at it as like he's a 3-point shooter that on occasion put the ball on the deck and get to the basket. It's just not Christian Wood's game. It's just not who Christian Wood is, right? Can he put the ball on the deck? Yeah, we've seen it. But he's a guy you put on the block, you dump the ball down to him, you run some pick and pop actions, kind of have him as the roll man. He can finish through contact with his length, right? Pull him out on occasion, draw out the big, or, just to kind of be that kick out man. He's very versatile offensively. If you put him in the right positions, he's a guy that can have a lot of success for the Lakers. It's a guy that was expected to have a real significant impact this season, and he just didn't. A lot of that, again, was because of Darvin Ham. But we'll see how it all plays out, But as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? What do you think of these two guys? Do you have your concerns? Are you excited? Is there anything specific that you're kind of questioning about their interviews or their return dates? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.